Hey you, what up? Welcome to my channel. Welcome back. Maryam here. In this video, I am going to show you all of the current viral makeup techniques that have been popularized here on YouTube, also on TikTok, on IG Reels, on Shorts. But these are techniques that I have personally tried that actually work. So I'm really excited to put this video together. I've done something similar to this before, but this is a little bit more updated. This is the 2023 version. There's lots more tips and lots more techniques that I am currently utilizing. This is the look that I was able to achieve using all of these techniques. Do let me know which of these is your favorite, which ones have you tried, which ones will you never try, which of these are a little too much, or which ones are just right. I would love to hear from you. Remember to subscribe if you aren't already. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button for those Wednesdays and Sundays videos, notification bell. And now let's get into it. Viral makeup techniques that actually work, makeup tutorial. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's get into these viral makeup techniques that actually work. Starting with one of my favorite techniques, underpainting. The underpainting technique has been around for a long time, but it's recently resurfaced again because of Mary Phillips and because of other celebrity makeup artists. And you're seeing it all over TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram Reels, on Shorts, everywhere. Everyone is doing it, and to me, it is one of those techniques that actually works, and it works for everyone. So if you have normal or dry skin, one of my favorite products to use for this would be the Makeup Forever HD Skin Sculpting Palette. This one has a bunch of skin tones. It also has some deeper shades for contouring, for bronzing, and there's also some shimmery shades for highlighting. And we also have 2 more variations on that palette, the ones with blush. So this is the lighter one, this is the deeper one. This one I just got my hands on, so I haven't yet put it to use. And although I would put it to use in this video, I actually love doing this technique with my DANESSA MYRICKS Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder, because this is a product that works for me and for my oily skin. It's something that I like to contour and highlight with. It's something that I like to bronze up with. I'm gonna be using this as my base. For this specific technique, I'm gonna use a much deeper shade for my bronzing and contouring than I normally do, which is shade 9. I'm gonna use a dense angled brush like this, pick up a little bit. I'm gonna start with my forehead. My face is a little bit red because I just got out of the shower. My hair is still wet, literally. So I'm just gonna add this shade to the perimeter of my face, underneath my cheekbone, along the jaw, and same thing on the other side. I'm not applying primer because this actually serves as my primer. Why? Because this has Upsilite and it's an ingredient that controls oils better than mica, better than talc. It's safe for acne prone skin. I love it. This is what I use. This is what works for me, and it's kind of like serving as a dual purpose. So now that I have that, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a much lighter shade, which is shade 4. And this is the shade that I'm gonna use to sort of highlight with. I'm gonna pick up a different brush. This one is from Rare Beauty, but similar. I'm gonna apply this to the center of the face. Again, dual purpose. This is also serving as my primer. I'm gonna apply this across the cheeks and basically in those spaces where I didn't apply my bronze and contour shade. Of course, you can customize this if you want to contour your nose, if you want to narrow your forehead, you can apply more bronzer or contour. But for me, this is what I like to do, and it's what works. So I'm gonna use the same brush to kind of buff out the lighter shade. And then I'm gonna take a dual fiber brush like this. This one is from Sculpt, number 03. And it's a very fluffy, not so sturdy brush. This is the brush that I'm gonna use to blend out and buff out the contour. Essentially, all you're doing is you're getting rid of the harsh lines, but you're not really getting rid of the color. You're not really blending it as well as you would had it been on top of your foundation. With the underpainting technique, you don't really need to be precise. And I think this will also help some of you who are still perhaps a little bit uncomfortable with contouring and blending. Also, if you have any sorts of acne marks, if you're afraid that the contour may interfere with that or highlight in any way, this technique is perfect for this. Okay, so essentially that's that. You could also add your blush underneath, but I guess it depends on the look that you're going for. For me, because I want this to be somewhat natural and I want everything to be really seamless, I'm actually gonna apply my blush on top. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to make all of this seamless and cohesive by applying foundation on top and by blending all of this over. And I know many of you have probably already seen this, but to me, this technique is always evolving. There's always new trends, there's always new ways of doing it. And I just wanna show you kind of like the current way that I just learned. So I'm gonna take a pump of the HAUS Labs foundation. Shade 260 Light Medium Cool is what I use. It's an olive undertone. I'm gonna take a pump of the LANCOME Genifique Serum. I love this one. Whoa, that was more than a pump. I'm gonna mix them together. Maybe add one more pump of the foundation because I really watered it down just now. I'm gonna dot the foundation all over my face, and then I'm gonna show you another technique, another viral technique that actually works, and I'm kind of obsessed with it, especially if you want your makeup to last. I'm gonna take the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. This one is bulletproof. I'm not really a huge believer in setting sprays, but I really do like this one, and if I need to have my makeup on all day, meaning like 12 hours or more, this is what I use. Spraying your setting spray directly onto the brush, and also everywhere else, because this one definitely does spit out, and blending out the foundation with your setting spray. Viral technique number 2. So for this technique, as you can see, I am stippling the parts where I have my breakouts, where I need a little bit more coverage, and then I'm sort of swerving in those areas where my skin looks good. I'm not so much concentrating on the spots just yet. Right now, I'm just applying that layer of foundation that will also help to seal everything together. The underpainting, the bronzing, the highlighting, just like that. Applying a little bit more foundation wherever I need it, stippling it in, and I'm sort of moving quickly here just because the setting spray definitely does change up the consistency of the foundation, but because I sheared it out, it will still look a little bit more natural. Some people like to use a sponge for this technique, and I could totally see that working, but I'm just not a sponge girl. I'm used to my brush, my IT Cosmetics Complexion Perfection brush, my favorite brush. So I'm gonna stick to what works for me. But if you're more into sponges, then by all means use a sponge. All right, so now that I've done that, I feel like I've made myself look very bronzy, much more bronzy than my neck. So I'm just gonna make that match a little. All right, so now for the concealer. The next technique that I actually will probably never ever skip because it's so good and it truly works is actually mixing in a color corrector, a peach or pink color corrector in with your concealer. So let me show you what I mean. I'm using the EXA High Fidelity Color Corrector in the shade Peach. I also sometimes use pink, but pink to me looks a little bit more like that cool girl makeup style, and I feel like now we're getting into the warmer weather months, so I'm trying to stick to something a little bit warmer, which is peach. And basically I'm applying that directly underneath the eye. Then I'm taking the one size medium 1N concealer. I'm gonna dot a little bit right next to it. I'm also just gonna dot around. And then I'm gonna mix all that together for my peachy color corrected under eye. So indeed, the result is much more peachy than normal, but I think this works so much better with your blush and just with your overall look than a straight color matching or a brightening concealer. I think this is one of those techniques that is modern, it is current, it's something that takes your makeup from 2017 to 2023, and I really like it for the time being. Perhaps I'll switch it up, but for now I am sticking to this. I love this. It is so fresh. It just gives the face that little bit of lift, and I'm here for it. The brush that I'm using is from LAWLESS. Once again, I'll link it down below. For some reason, I've been getting a lot of questions about this brush, and I really do like it, and I do recommend it. I'm gonna add a little bit of brightening between my brows. So this isn't a viral technique, this is just an everyday type of technique. Nothing too crazy, just a little bit of brightening right here. Because I do tend to hold a lot of my tension here. For me, it's always good to just add a little bit of light. Now, before I go ahead and set everything, I am gonna conceal all of my imperfections. I'm gonna use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. Shade is Macadamia. I'm gonna conceal this guy right here. There's baby right here, and just a couple of spots that I have all over the face. I'm gonna let it sit, and then I'm gonna pick up my brush and quickly blend that out. My next technique is going to be using the NYX Jumbo White Pencil to highlight and bring attention to certain areas. This I've seen a lot on TikTok lately, but it's not really a new technique. It's something that we've been doing forever. At least I have been, but I'm seeing it pop up more recently now. And I gotta say, it's a fun technique. And you could probably do this for any skin tone because the consistency of this pencil is so good. It's so easy to blend. All it will do is just lighten and brighten your overall complexion or wherever you place it. I'm just strategically placing it to the areas that I want to lift and pop. Naturally, because my foundation is not yet set, it's also picking up a little bit of the foundation color and kind of blending in with that, doing a little bit of that reverse contouring. I'm kind of just lifting everything up at an angle, and this is the angle of my jawline and also my eye and also my cheekbone. And you can use the same brush that you use for your concealer or a sponge if you're someone who likes sponges, or even your foundation brush, and just go over that very gently. Now obviously, depending on your skin tone, you have to be careful with how much of this jumbo eye pencil you're applying. I'm using the shade Milk, which is white, but if you want to try to be on the safe side and use perhaps a yellow or like a light peach, that could also work. But for me and for my skin tone, or anyone in my shade range or lighter, can get away with using the white. Though, like I said, I've seen this utilized on every single skin tone on TikTok, and somehow it magically works. Though I'm not sure if I can even trust it, considering all the filters and everything that's going on, and just everyone wanting to be viral nowadays, which is actually another reason why I'm doing this video. I want to show you the techniques that I've tried that personally work, that are not gimmicks, that are not trying to go viral just for the sake of going viral, that actually can help you with your makeup game. I'm going to take a more precise brush for the eyebrows. And essentially, I am done with all the creams and the liquids and the underpainting. If you want to apply a blush, a cream blush on top, you can. But I'm actually gonna go ahead and set my face now. So I'm gonna use my Dominique Cosmetics Rosita Powder, which is a pink. I'm gonna set my under eye. This is a Charlotte Tilbury brush. I'm not sure the name, been rubbed off. It's basically their powder brush. And I like the fact that it is kind of on the small side, so it's perfect for the under eye and for detailing. I don't know why, but I'm really excited for this video. I love sharing techniques. Something that I don't often get to do because my channel is so much about reviews and products, but I feel like techniques are equally as important, if not more important. And although I'm not a makeup artist per se, I am still an artist in my own right. And I'm someone who's been in the industry for long enough that I've been to enough master classes, enough events where I've learned from the masters, and I've been able to replicate their techniques, but like on my own level and in my own way to work for me. Acai and chocolate, pretty legit. All right, next thing I'm gonna do is just set my face. I'm gonna use the One Size powder, shade medium 4G, golden undertone. Big brush from Jones Road, my favorite brush for my giant face. I know a lot of celebrity makeup artists don't really like pressed setting powders, and that's because a lot of the times they go to these events with the celebrities and they can easily touch them up. But to me, for someone who has oily skin, this is just unrealistic. I absolutely must set my foundation with a powder, especially if I'm going to be going anywhere. Next, I'm going to use my Bare Minerals Mineral Veil to set my pores. And this is my personal hack. It's my technique that absolutely works, especially if you want to get rid of texture. This is what you do, and this is what you use. Or at least this is what I use. But I noticed you guys have been using it too. I can tell from my affiliate link purchases, that is, which by the way, every single product that I'm mentioning today is listed and linked down below. My affiliate links is what you see there. And thank you for using them. I really do appreciate it, though you're absolutely not required to do so. That goes without saying. God, I love this powder. The only thing about this powder is if you have any sort of breakout like I have here, it's a healing, scabby type of breakout, it somehow changes the color of the concealer or like any concentrated amount of foundation that you have on your skin. So it's always important to touch up on top. So that's what I like to do with like my little Jones Road pencil. Shade 9 is what I use. Dab a little bit on top. That looks really bad. And then once again, either seal it with that powder or with my One Size. Better. Still scabby, but better. All right, so now for the next technique. This is probably one of my new favorite techniques, and it's the perfect technique, especially if you are someone who is often late but needs to look prepared. It is basically the blush technique that doubles as eyeshadow and just makes you look so much more put together. For this, you actually need something with a little bit of color, perhaps something like this, which is the Essence Baked Blush that I used in my previous video, shade Bold Heart. Or if you want to be cute and trendy, you can use a pink blush like this Cloud Crush blurring blush from Too Faced in the shade Candy Colors. I'm going to use Candy Colors. You also need a really, really fluffy brush, and preferably a large one. This is not so large, but it'll be large enough for most people. Just for me, because I have giant cheeks and a giant face, this is not really ideal. Ideally, I'd like to use something like this, had it been perfectly round. This is a Morphe Y5 brush. So this is the blushing eyeshadow technique. Take a look. Probably good to have your eyes closed for this. Essentially, you are swirling this blush on the top of your cheekbone and also on your temple and kind of into the eye area, making this whole entire area the blush zone. I prefer to do this with a lighter blush, but really you could do this with any color. that has pigment. So essentially this is what you get. It's just such a fresh, kind of an uplifting take on blush and eyeshadow. And it gives you just the quickest, the easiest little perk me up ever, if I could even say it like that. But literally, it just looks like it's perking up your face. It's just giving you that little bit of blushing or flushing where you need it. And literally you can skip eyeshadow because it kind of doubles as eyeshadow. But I am gonna use more blush. I just really, really like this color. And I really like this technique of layering 2 blushes for an ombre effect. Another viral technique that to me works, where you apply a much lighter color on the top and a slightly darker color on the bottom. This to me looks so pretty. It's so easy to achieve. It just looks fresh. It looks modern. It looks like you put in more time than what you did. This is a great hack and a viral technique that actually works. I really do like this one. Might be my favorite, but I'm curious to know what's your favorite so far. Maybe it's the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil technique. Maybe it's the underpainting technique. Maybe it's the setting spray technique. You let me know. Okay, so my brows are already done. I feel like there aren't really too many viral brow techniques or hacks that work because brows are just so very individual. Brow trends tend to change really quickly lately. And so to me, I'm just doing what works for me, which is gluing my brows to my face and then filling them in with my NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen. This is a technique that I've been utilizing for a while now, and basically there's nothing new that I have to share with you in that category. What I'm gonna do next is actually go a little bit out of order. I'm gonna show you a new technique I just recently learned that is one of my favorites, using these lip stains from Huda Beauty. So now these lip stains were not a love at first sight for me. I actually did not get them. I didn't really like them upon my first initial application, but now they're like my favorite new thing. And so this is how I like to do them. And it's a viral technique that I literally learned from Huda. I'm gonna pick up the shade Rosy Kiss and apply this all over my lips. Some people say that stains only stain their lips in the center, but for me it is the opposite. My lips only get stained in the perimeter, but not so much in the center, so I need to apply a little bit extra in the center. So this is how I like to do that. I'm also kind of staying within the lines for this one. I'm not really outlining or anything for the most part. But the reason why I didn't like this product to begin with is because the color itself, actually all the colors upon the first application, apply kind of dirty. They make your mouth look like you ate something unflattering. And so I just wasn't really feeling the initial impact of this color, if you know what I mean. But the magic really comes once you remove the product, and I'm gonna do that in a few seconds, but I'm actually gonna, and by seconds I mean minutes, but I'm actually gonna let that sit on my mouth while I do my eyes and while I show you my next technique, because I really do want it to stain. So now I am gonna move on to the viral eyeshadow technique. I am sure you have seen this, and it's a technique of applying 3 different color coordinated eyeshadows by basically swiping them onto your lid and then blending them out. So if I can give this technique a name, I would call it the 5-minute eyeshadow blending technique. You know what? I'm actually not gonna use the Kaja Beauty shadows for this. I'm gonna use the CoverGirl Clean Color eyeshadows just because I love these palettes so much. So I'm gonna go for this very simple nude. It is called Shimmering Beige. All you need for this technique is a flat eyeshadow brush. I'm gonna start with a really small one. This one from Sculpt, number 21. I'm gonna take the lightest shade. I'm gonna swipe that down just like this. Same thing in the other eye. Next, I'm dipping into the second shade, which is like a taupey shimmery shade. And remember, in order for this technique to work, you need these shades to be somewhat color coordinated. Swiping that right next to it, and now you kind of see where I'm getting at, right? And then for the final color, I'm gonna pick up another brush, a bigger brush, and this matte brown shade. I'm gonna apply that right next to the other two. Next thing I'm gonna do is grab a fluffy brush, but somewhat sturdy. I'm gonna start from the inner corner, from the lightest color. I'm gonna start blending that out. Next, I'm gonna move on to the second shade. And then last but not least, I'm gonna go into the final shade with the same brush, which already has a little bit of the shimmer on it. And I'm just gonna work that into the brown. Boom. Okay, to be honest with you, this technique is so easy that had I not been talking through this, I could probably do this in under a minute. This literally is so super simple. Anyone can do it. Although I chose very basic colors, you could do this with any color. You can just start practicing with the basics, but you can do this with any color combo, and it just helps you to create that easy, everyday type of eye base. And of course, if you want to amplify it, you can. You can always dip back into the dark eyeshadow. You can add a little bit more to the outer corner, just like that. But this is a must-know technique for anyone who struggles with eyeshadow, especially if you're a beginner. Then I'm gonna take that same brush, the first one that I used to apply all the shadows, I'm gonna dip into the most shimmery shade. This one, if it's glittery or shimmery, I wouldn't recommend to actually use for this technique. Instead, apply it after and just precisely pinpoint it exactly where you need it, which is like the inner corner. But with anything else, if it's just mildly metallic or if it's satin, not glittery, those are perfectly good eyeshadows to do this technique with. And honestly, the result is so good. So good. Okay, the next technique, I have a feeling that it works, but I've actually never tried this on camera or even off camera, so bear with me. I am gonna take the Limitless brown pencil from Makeup Forever. This one's new, so I gotta open it up. I think you know the technique that I'm about to attempt, that I've actually never tried before. I'm gonna load up this pencil onto the outer lower lash line, just like this. And this is a very soft type of pencil. It is just like a multi-use, not waterproof, but just like an artist pencil that is perfect for this technique. Again, I'm not being precise, I'm just loading the product onto the lash line, specifically onto the outer lash line, just like that. And then I'm gonna take my two nails, I'm gonna place them at the corner. I'm actually gonna do this while looking at a mirror. You'll only see one side if this comes out right. I'm gonna look down, and I'm gonna flick it up. That literally worked. That literally freaking worked, you guys. That is the easiest cat eye ever. I cannot believe this worked. I'm a little bit shook. And I feel like if I get a little bit more practice, I can do this even better. If you struggle with getting your winged liner to look good, remember the two nails technique, or do this one nail at a time. I'm actually gonna try to do this one on camera. I'm gonna load up a little bit of that liner. I'm gonna take my nail. I'm gonna flick it up. It works. I cannot believe this. And then I'm just gonna take a small little brush, that same brown eyeshadow from the CoverGirl palette. I'm just gonna smudge out the top of that liner because I really just wanted the bottom to be precise, and that's what the nail technique does. And look at that, look at that. Okay, I also wanna know which of these techniques you have tried, which of these have you never seen or heard of, or perhaps you've heard of all of them, but you don't believe that they work and you think they're all just gimmicks. People just trying to go viral. Let me know. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on all of these, but I'm honestly a little bit shook at that nail technique. I was not expecting this one to work for some reason. I thought it was gonna be a little messy, but it turned out to be really good, especially for my first time. All right, so now it's time for the lips. I do need a paper towel, which I do not have, so hopefully the swatch model. All right, while I wait for the swatch model, I'm quickly gonna do my lashes. And I don't have any techniques for lashes outside of my own techniques, which are not viral, but should be. I'm gonna apply this CoverGirl Lash Blast Cleantopia mascara. This one is new. How nice is this mascara? Today I actually have a pretty long day ahead of me. I'm gonna be wearing this mascara all day. I'm actually gonna be wearing this whole entire look all day. So I'm gonna be testing out the longevity of some of these products. Though I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty solid that the face will be bulletproof because this is a technique that I've done before, I'm familiar with. But I'm curious to see whether this mascara actually smudges or not. But so far, it's a really beautiful formula and it makes the lashes look so nice. So now back to the lips. I'm gonna remove the stain. And by removing it, I'm just removing the top layer of the product, the part that actually looks kind of dirty. And what's left underneath is a very pinky rosy tone to the lips, which I think is so flattering, so much more flattering than the color before. This product really does stain, and I really do like it because it lasts. Though again, I wouldn't recommend not removing it. How pretty is this color by itself? And the fact that it's totally non-transferable, it is actually a stain, is what kind of sells it for me, I guess. So next thing I'm gonna do is a viral trick that I saw HUDA do. And I'm gonna grab the darker shade of this lip blush, Berry Kiss, and I'm gonna literally create a pocket of fullness, because this is just something that I like to do on my bottom lip, like that. Next, I'm gonna outline my mouth, but in a circle. I'm sort of erasing the Cupid's bow, and I'm applying the stain below my lip. Now, this looks very crazy, and it is, but it works. And this particular step, I don't like to keep on my lips for too long. Once I've applied it, is when I'd like to remove it. almost immediately. But what it does do is actually create a shadow around your mouth, except it's not around your mouth shape, it's just in the center, so it gives it this really cute little pout. I'm a big fan of this. I like the way that it looks on me and on my lip shape. So I have been doing it, and it's something that I would recommend you try because it's just so cute and it's so different. Maybe not for everybody, but definitely a technique to try out and make your own. I actually showed this very video on TikTok or on IG Reels, I can't remember which one. After you do this, of course you want to fill in the corners because they do look kind of bare. I like to do that with my Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme Lip Plumping Liners. And essentially this is the result. You can wear it as is, like this, or you can apply a clear gloss on top or whatever color gloss you want. I'm gonna go for the Lip Injection Extreme just because I love a good plump. And essentially, that is the look. I almost forgot. The nose blush hack is a must. It's my favorite. It's a trendy type of technique, but I love it. I feel like it just adds a really fun, whimsical, youthful kind of glow. So I just dot a little bit of this blush onto my nose, not really on the tip of my nose, but kind of above it, like that, just to the center. And then I swoosh the rest of the blush into my cheeks to meet with my actual cheek blush, like that. Super simple, very subtle. Of course you can go crazy with it, but I like to just add a little bit, and that's pretty much it. Nothing new or crazy for the highlighter. I'm just gonna use this Making Memories highlighter from ColourPop, add it right on top of my cheekbones, and then blend it in with my blush. Just for like a little bit of light reflect, but nothing too crazy. And essentially that is my look. I'm gonna go blow dry my hair. I'm gonna get myself completely ready so I can showcase the final look and talk about all these techniques. All right, hair is nice and blow dried. And here we are, final look. Full face of viral techniques that actually work. Who knew? All right, so now that we're at the end of the video, now that you've seen all of my favorite viral makeup techniques that actually work, please let me know which one is your favorite, which one have you tried, which one has worked for you, which one do you absolutely hate and will never try. I'm eager to hear your thoughts. I'm eager to respond back to you in the comment section, so I hope you utilize it. And with that said, on this positive note, I am gonna zoom on out. I'm gonna wish you guys a farewell. Thank you for watching and for sticking until the end. I hope that you love this video. Peace out, and I'm out.